Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to West Coast Bias, live from Garden Grove and Los Angeles, California. I am David Rice, your host, and we have our wonderful co host, Asai Walker. And as you can see, we have some guests here today. We have four international basketball players who are playing this year for Future College Prep, a postgraduate prep school based in Orange County, California. We have three different countries represented here as far as people who are actually living there and they are here playing basketball. And we have our fourth guest tonight is actually from a foreign country, but he lives in Northern California. So we have a variety of basketball players. We're going to get started really quick, and we're going to start out with saying hello to my wonderful co-host, Masai Walker. How you doing, Masai?
I am doing great, and it's great to be back. We've been off for a little while, but it's good to be back with the playoffs going on and baseball season. I'm excited to talk to our future prep basketball players as well. I think it's going to be a great show today.
Yeah, definitely will be. I really thank these four young men for joining us. One of them was a returning guest from last year, which is the person to my right here. Well, to my right, whatever. Sparsh Kedan, and he is from Dubai. And his descent, though, he's Indian and German. And then we have Mr. Ryan Razi with me, and he is our resident from the Bay Area up in Redwood City, California, near San Francisco. And he hails from the country of Iran. And then on the bottom of our screen are two wonderful young men down there. On the left, you have Mr. Junior Kakao, and he is from Belgium, but his family actually is from the Ivory Coast. And then on the right is one of our point guards, the fabulous Lewis Bennett from London, England. So that is who we have here. We will get to them in a few minutes, but we want to start the show off talking about some things. And they can interject, but I know our first topic we're going to talk about is baseball, because we're going to spend most of our time on basketball. We don't want to forget baseball. Just started about 3 weeks ago. Our Angels and Dodgers have started out sort of up and down, up and down, up and down. They're both right around 500 right now. The Angels went to 500 today. They're 11-11 by beating Kansas City. And the Dodgers, I believe, also went to 500 at 11-11, and they beat the Cubs in Chicago. So it's been sort of a weird year for baseball so far. For a lot of things are new about baseball. A lot of rule changes. The biggest rule change is the pitch clock. It's a rule where the pitcher has to throw the ball within 15 seconds of getting it, and 20 seconds if there's a player on base. And what is essentially done is this made the games much, much shorter. Last year, the average game time was right about 3 hours and 5 minutes. This year so far, I haven't seen the exact numbers, but I've been hearing it's about 30 minutes on average less. So about 2.5 hour games. As you can see with my Angel shirt, you might even see my little staff on here. I'm an Angel Stadium usher, and our games have been really, really short. Like, we had a game the other night on Friday night, 2 hours and 4 minutes. I mean, there wasn't too many games that were that short back, 50 years ago. I mean, let alone now. And we had a game of like 2 hours and 12 minutes today, I think. And I mean, it's been crazy how much it's shortened the game time. And I think it's been a good thing overall. I mean, it's sort of stinks sometimes though. You get a baseball game, pay all that money, and then you're gone in 2 hours, of game time. But I mean, some of the games that used to go for 3.5, 4 hours are now being a lot shorter. We had a game earlier this year, 12-11 in 10 innings, and that game would have probably taken 4.5 hours last year, and it was just over 3 hours. So, I mean, that's what's happened. And, I mean, teams are getting used to it. I mean, there were some problems during spring training. One game ended on a pitch clock violation, which caused the batter to step out of the batter's box. It caused him to be called for a strike, which was strike 3, which ended the game with the bases loaded. And people made a big deal about it. But, I think now they're seeing how it's working, and they like it. I'm not sure about playoffs. because I don't really want to see a playoff game decided on that. But I think the players should be pretty well versed with that by the time playoffs come around. So anyway, and I was wrong. The Dodgers are actually 12-11, so they are one game over 500 and tied for first place with the Arizona Diamondbacks. But the big story in baseball has been the Tampa Bay Rays. They tied a Major League Baseball record this year, winning their first 13 games of the season. Best start to the season, tying the 1987 Milwaukee Brewers. And the Rays have kept on going. They've lost some games, but they're still 19-3 and up by almost 5 games in the tough American League East, where every team in the whole division is over 500, including the Baltimore Orioles, New York Yankees, Toronto Blue Jays, and Boston Red Sox. Now, the Angels are 11-11, and they are 3.5 games behind the Texas Rangers. And so they are trying to get things together. Got some real bad news today. They lost their rookie catcher, Logan O'Hoppe. He was really off to a hot start. 4 home runs in the first, 20 games. And he has been diagnosed with a torn labrum in his shoulder. He's going to be out between 4 and 6 months, which basically could be almost the whole season. And he was doing really well. The Angels don't have much depth at catcher, so that's going to be a tough blow for them to see if they can figure something out. Are they going to go out and make a trade, or are they going to try to get by with the guys they have in the minors? We'll see. But anyway, both teams have had some good pickups. They've done well, but again, it's been sort of a up and down year for our local teams. And even our other somewhat local team, the San Diego Padres, down in San Diego, they're supposed to be one of the best teams. They've spent a lot of money, and they are sitting at 11-11, a half game behind the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. So California baseball has been a little bit tough so far, but we still have 5 more months to go. Getting to the end of April, and so we'll see what happens. But the Angels, big deal is Shohei Ohtani. Amazing year so far already on the mound. He's pitched 3 great games. His ERA is I think he's given up 2 runs the whole season, and it's been amazing. And also hitting home runs. I think his 5th home run today, and he's just been awesome. And the only bad thing is he is going to be a free agent next year. And the word on the street is he will go elsewhere if the Angels are not, contenders. And right now, we'll see. They have not been in the playoffs since 2014, so hopefully this year will be different, and we might have a chance to keep Ohtani here in Anaheim. But if not, he might go up the I-5 freeway to the Dodgers. We'll see. The asking price, if they decide to do a long contract, will be somewhere close to $50 million per season because he can pitch and hit, and is top of his game in both of those. We'll see. So anyway, Dodgers, they've been struggling. They have some good young guys. Best guy has been James Outman. Hit a couple home runs yesterday, and he's been pretty hot, replacing Cody Bellinger. And Dodgers have had some good games. Clayton Kershaw has got his 200th win. Big deal for the Dodgers and for Kershaw, one of the best pitchers in this last 15-year era. But the Dodgers have been struggling off and on. So we'll have to see what happens, but it is early. So any thoughts on baseball, Masai? I know you're not as big a baseball fan as I am, but I know you follow it somewhat. What's your thoughts on baseball now?
Well, I think the pitching clock has been great for regular season games. The average time ESPN reporting is 2 hours and 30 minutes, which is about the same time as an NBA game, right? And I think some of the issues that baseball has had over the years is long games, people getting bored, uninterested. How many people want to sit out to a 3-hour game, 90 degrees outside? It really takes a lot for people to go and enjoy baseball games. So I think shorter games have brought more excitement to the games. And then, piggybacking on what you're saying about the local teams, the Angels, the Dodgers, been up and down to start the season, especially with the Dodgers, the offense, one game, 14 runs, the other game, they struggle to score at all. I think that's been an issue for the Dodgers the last couple of years, but now we're really seeing it with some of the talent being taken away due to money issues that, this team is really struggling and underperforming to start the season, and especially with the bullpen as well. And I think the same thing can be said about the Angels as well, as the bullpen has blown quite a few games for both teams so far. So we're under 20% of the way through the season. So it's still a long way to go. But so far, both teams have underperformed to start the season.
Yeah, for sure, Masai. And yeah, the Angels have had a lead in every single game they've been in except for one this season. They've had a lead, and I think they've had about other 22 games. I believe they've had, I think 15 have been decided by less than 2 runs, and have been like really close games. And today, another one, 4-3. I mean, last night they lost by 3 runs, but they were up 8-6 going to the ninth, and gave up 5 runs in the ninth and lost 11-8. So that was another game that was really close, and unfortunately the bullpen didn't hold it down. And on Friday night they won 2-0. So I mean, it's been a lot of close games, and hopefully the bullpen's going to get better. But part of the bullpen's problem has not been so much the guys are not good; they're just being overused. I mean, in New York this week, the Angels bullpen had to pitch like 4 to 5 innings in pretty much every game. Unfortunately, the first game of the series was a rain delay, so Shohei Ohtani left after 2 innings, and they had to do the bullpen the rest of the game. And next day, their pitcher, got in trouble. I can't remember who it was the next day. I think it was Patrick Sandoval, but whoever it was got in trouble early, and so the bullpen had to come in, and that's been the problem. I mean, they've had to use it too much, and there's a lot of guys who are throwing well at the bullpen, but it's been a problem. The Dodgers, I mean, they've had some games where they've blown leads and some games where they just can't hit. It's been a little bit of everything, but we'll see what happens in baseball. Like I said, it is early. Angels have 3 more games at home right now against the A's before they go on the road. And when they go on the road, they're going to go to Milwaukee, play some interleague play. And I'm not sure who else they go to besides Milwaukee. And then they'll be home again in about another week and a half. And when they come home, they'll be playing the Twins and the Astros. So, we'll see what happens. Anyway, hockey, real quick. LA Kings right now are our one lone California hockey team, and they're actually having a good playoff showing so far against the Edmonton Oilers. That series has been crazy. The first 3 games have been decided by 1 goal in 2 of the 3, and 2 of the games went to overtime. Well, tonight they went to another overtime game, and the Kings, after having a 3-0 lead, blew it and lost in overtime 5-4 to the Oilers. So it is tied 2-2 going back to Edmonton on Tuesday night. So hockey, that's what's going on. We'll see if the Kings can come back and get a win in Edmonton again like they did in game 1, and maybe really close it out next Saturday here in LA. So right now, the Staples Center, or now Crypto.com, has been pretty busy. We've had the Kings playing there, and also our 2 NBA teams who have done really well this year. The Lakers and the Clippers are both in the playoffs. All California teams are in the playoffs, and all are fighting for their playoff lives. The Clippers are probably in the worst shape because they are down 3-1 and down their 2 star players in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. The Lakers, on the other hand, are at full strength and looking pretty good against Memphis, and they're up 2-1 with game 4 coming up tomorrow. And then the Kings made the playoffs for the first time in 16 years, and they're battling the NBA dominant Golden State Warriors, and the Warriors are trying to win it again. And right now they're tied with the Kings with 2 games apiece, as the Warriors won today. So that's going to be a series that's probably going to go 7 games, as well as I think the Lakers series might end up going 7 games. Hope not. Hope the Lakers can close out quicker, but we'll see. But our resident basketball players here all have different teams they like. 3 of the 4 have their favorite teams are in the playoffs. One team is unfortunately the lowly Houston Rockets, but they've had their success, but just not recently. And I coach myself as a Laker fan, and my co-host Masai as a Cooper fan. We got a lot of the teams represented here. But anyway, so we're going to get into basketball now. So Masai, what's your take so far on the playoffs?
Um, I believe so far. Well, I start with the Eastern Conference. A lot of those series are unwatchable. I can't. That Philadelphia Brooklyn series was unwatchable from the start. I guess the only entertaining series out East is what was that Cleveland, New York. Donovan mentioned those guys. New York has looked really well so far. It start 3-1. But I think the big thing is that it's been riddled with injuries, with Giannis Antetokounmpo out for the Bucks. As we talked about Kawhi and Paul George out for the Clippers, and for Memphis, the first two games without Ja Morant. It really sucks. You go all season playing with these guys, and then in the most important time of the season, they're out. They can't play. But so far in the Western Conference, the games have been fun. They've been elite, especially the Sacramento Golden State series. I believe that's the best series to watch. A lot of offense, great offense. Steph, De'Aaron Fox, those guys. It's been really great basketball to watch. But overall, it's elite basketball. It's the playoffs. Teams are fighting for their playoff lives, and it's been really fun to watch so far.
Yeah, well, it's definitely been an interesting playoffs, and I mean, the fact that the Lakers are back in the playoffs and they had to do some doing down there down the stretch. I mean, they had to really play well in April, and they did to make to be the top play-in team, the seventh seed, and then they had a crazy game with Minnesota, as you probably saw, Masai. I mean, the
Right.
Lakers looked like they had won the game on a three-pointer by Dennis Schroeder with about a second and a half to go, but then Anthony Davis makes one of the few bonehead plays he makes, fouling the three-point shooter in Mike Conley, giving him three foul shots with like 0.2 seconds to go, makes all three, goes overtime, but the Lakers did prevail in overtime to go on, and unfortunately, Timberwolves had to go play another game, but they ended up winning their game
Mhm.
against the uh, Oklahoma City Thunder, and they end up being the eighth seed, but they are about ready to be knocked out by the Denver Nuggets. They may even have been knocked out already. I've not seen the final on the game yet, but it's
They
let's
won
see.
tonight. They won
They did
tonight,
it.
so they
Okay,
got
so
another game.
yeah, so Nuggets, yeah, the Timberwolves almost blew it. They blew a 12-point lead and had to go to overtime, but they did find a way to win. So they're still alive, but they're on life support. They're going back to Denver, and it's probably going to be a quick one more game there, and it'll be over with. So, but the Western Conference has definitely been much more entertaining. I mean, the Eastern Conference, the best two teams, are pretty much usually the last couple of years have been the Celtics and Bucks. I still think they are the best, but watch out for the Knicks. They could surprise you. And then of course the Sixers, another team that has definitely been playing pretty well. But the Sixers have the curse of Doc Rivers to contend with. He always seems to get good teams during the season, but then goes to the playoffs and they do a major choke job. As Masai knows all too well as being a Clipper fan. So we'll see how long it takes for the Sixers to choke before they do. So I would say the Bucks and Celtics are still the favorite, but we'll see. We'll see what
Hmm.
happens. Uh, so anyway, so you're a Clipper fan, Mathai.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the Clippers? I mean, they looked pretty good in the first game, winning in Phoenix. Game two, they were playing pretty well, but couldn't win. And then the Kawhi Leonard injury curse came up, and the last two games they fought violently, but just have not been able to pull off the games in the end. And now they're looking at one game from elimination. What's your thoughts
All
on the
right.
Clippers?
My thoughts on the Clippers. Well, I mean, you just sum up the play on the court, right? They're going to get to Phoenix Suns team with three Hall of Famers. Kevin Durant and Chris Paul for sure Hall of Famers. I think Devin Booker will play his way into the Hall of Fame, right? And they're playing against a team who's right now being led by Norman Powell and Russell Westbrook. I think so. We started this show what in 2020, right, Dave? I
Yep.
joined you in 2020, right? And I think the theme of the Clippers since then is it's been like a big what if. If Kawhi and Paul George are healthy in the playoffs, this team can win a championship. I think we've said that every year for the last 4 years, right? And it's just been unfortunate that every season with those two guys with the Clippers, in the playoffs, something has happened where they've ended up injured and having to miss time, and the team has, suffered because of that. Um, and I think when you look at the Clippers in the season as a whole, their process to trying to win a championship is very wrong, right? The regular season is very important, Dave. I believe the regular season is important, right? And you can't be low managing and missing games, 20, 35 games every season, expect to win a championship. And I want you guys to jump in on this as well because you guys play on the team, right? If you constantly have guys in and out of the lineup, it's hard to have chemistry and have that camaraderie and know where each guy's on the floor, their roles, and how you're supposed to play with each other. It's really hard to have that chemistry, right? When you're constantly changing lineups, guys are in and out. Now, I think with the Clippers, it's a perfect example of not valuing the regular season, low managing guys thinking that the regular season is not important. And then once you get into the playoffs, you have guys that don't know how to fit in the system, don't have a role. And even though they still low manage Kawhi and Paul George, they still end up hurting the playoffs. So it's just a situation where I think they go about the basketball season the wrong way. They don't really they 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 play with the basketball gods, right? And they've suffered for it the last couple of years, right? And that's where they're at right now. Kawhi and Paul George, they build a team around dudes that are injured often, and they're injured once again, and they're gonna pay for it again.
Yeah, well, that's the way it is. I mean, unfortunately, and yeah, injuries are a big part. I mean, the Lakers didn't make the playoffs last year because of so many injuries. I mean, Anthony Davis spent a lot of time on the injured list last year. LeBron did too, and they just never could get things going. And they didn't make the playoffs and just didn't do anything. And it's been the same thing ever since the championship during the bubble year when the Lakers won the championship in 2020. 2021 they made it in, but they were dispatched quickly. And now this year they looked a little bit different. They made a lot of aggressive moves right near the trade deadline, getting some few really good players. I mean, they traded Russell Westbrook because it just seemed like it was a bad match there, bad fit for him. Got D'Angelo Russell, got Malik Beasley, got Vanderbilt. What's his first name? You know?
Jared Vanderbilt.
What?
Jared
Vanderbilt. Yeah, they got him as well. And then, of course, they also, got from the Knicks, they got the guy Uchimura. And so they really tried to sort of reshape this team, and they did a pretty good job of it, I think. I mean, since those trades, I think the Lakers were like 15 and 7 or something like that. And like I said, they got hot down the stretch and were able to almost get out of the play-in round, but finished 7th. And now they've won 2 out of the first 3 games against the Memphis Grizzlies. Yes, Ja Morant did not play in game 2, but he was there game 1 for most of the game. He got hurt in the fourth quarter. The Lakers were already in control then. And so the only game they missed him, the Memphis Grizzlies actually won. Sort of crazy. They won when Ja Morant was not there, rather when he was there. Yet yesterday they got their tail handed to them, even though the final score looked close, 110-100. The Lakers were winning at the end of the first quarter 35-9. I mean, that is one of the biggest butt whippings I've ever seen in an NBA playoff game in the first quarter. And that was just ridiculous. And the Lakers never never not led by more than 14 points the rest of the way until right at the end. Right at the end, they got to within 10, but the game was over. But there's been a lot of chippiness during the games. I mean, yesterday they had an issue with Uchimura, and one of the Grizzly players, got into a little pushing match. And then later on, Dylan Brooks, who's been talking a lot of crap through social media and just the regular media about LeBron James. LeBron James actually walked out of a press conference and says, if all you want to talk to me about is Dylan Brooks, we're done. And he walked away. And yesterday in the game, he gets a nut shot by Dylan Brooks, and they review it, and Dylan Brooks ends up getting ejected. I watched the play, and I don't like Dylan Brooks. I think he's sort of arrogant, and he thinks he's better than he is. But I don't think that he really intentionally meant to hit LeBron in the nuts. I think he was just trying to go for the ball. His hand happened to graze there, but I don't think he felt any remorse that LeBron was down the court, hurt, hurting. And, you get hit in the nuts, you're going to get hurt. It's not going to feel good. But I don't think he was doing it intentionally. But they gave him the heave-ho out of the game, and it didn't matter at the time. Like I said, the Lakers were winning by about 25 when it happened. So, having Dillon Brooks or not having Dillon Brooks probably didn't matter. But Memphis is a good team. I mean, Ja Morant, 45 points, 13 assists, 9 rebounds, and that's crazy numbers, but in a losing effort. So I think the Lakers, I'm hoping that they can get past Memphis. I said on another podcast I was on recently that I thought they were going to win in 7 games. I might be able to take it in 6. We'll see. But, I mean, Memphis is a good team. They got some good players besides Ja Morant. I mean, Dillon Brooks is a very good player. And they also have Bane, who's really good. They have so much talent on that team and a lot of young talent. So they're going to be a team to watch out for still. I mean, I don't think the Lakers, if they win tomorrow, I think the Lakers are in pretty good shape because they'll be up 3-1. But if they lose tomorrow, all bets are off. We're back to a best 2 out of 3 series with 2 of those 3 games being in Memphis. So Lakers, it's a big game for them to try to win tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. But, I mean, I think they win. It's going to be a very interesting series against either Sacramento or the Golden State Warriors. That will be a very interesting series for the Lakers are the team that wins out against the Grizzlies. So we'll see. So now we're going to go to Mr. Junior Kouakou, and Junior is from Belgium. And Junior, I want to get your opinion here because I know you are a Memphis Grizzly fan, so you're on the opposing side of me as a Laker fan.
Yes, sir.
So what are your thoughts about the Memphis Grizzlies and their chances against the Lakers?
Yes, sir. I mean, we're down by 1 because you guys won the last 2 games. I ain't gonna lie, we played pretty bad. I mean, the team wasn't that good even the last game, except when Ja Morant won the great player, like you said. He makes some couple of plays, but I mean, we have to figure out. Because I think we can really win that. I ain't gonna lie. So tomorrow, I don't hope that we're gonna win. I know we're gonna win. So
okay, Dillon Brooks. Okay, Dillon Brooks.
A lot of confidence right there.
Yeah. That's a lot of confidence,
Yeah.
I trust my team.
Yeah, we got some differing opinions over on this side of the screen, but your partner in crime there, Junior. Let's go to your partner in crime there, Junior. Mr. Lewis Bennett. No, I know, Lewis, your favorite team is the Houston Rockets. I'm sorry for that, but I know they've had some great years. It's not recently. So right now, I mean, I know you watch the NBA. You may not follow it as much because your Rockets aren't as good, but who do you like? Who do you think is good right now in the NBA, and who do you think might be a team to watch out for, for the playoffs?
I think the Nuggets are a really solid team, and I feel like this might finally be the year to contend for a title after failing previously in previous years. Murray's healthy again. Jokic is in good form right now, so hopefully the Nuggets can do something this year. I think the Kings are a really exciting team to watch. They're a very good underdog team. So yeah. In the East, I really like the Knicks right now with Jalen Brunson. But like Coach Dave said, my team currently isn't in it, so not much for me to see. So yeah.
Who's your favorite player, Lewis? In all
favorite player
right now. Yeah.
Right now, probably Steph. He's a really good player. Changed the game, influenced everyone to shoot more threes. So yeah. But my favorite player on the Rockets, probably Jalen Green.
Yeah, Jalen Green's a good player. So how about you, Junior? Who's your favorite player right now?
I mean, right now, like I told you, I'm from the Grizzlies, so my favorite player is Ja Morant. Young, great player. Came a couple of years ago to play well in the NBA. Very tough, very complete, can shoot, defend, and the ball easily. Ja Morant. I can't explain it with Ja Morant. You know what I mean? Everyone knows Ja Morant, so Yeah, I like his starts play. Pretty explosive, you feel me? Yeah.
So, okay, well, now we go to the people to my right and left here. We're going to go to on screen. He's to my right, but he's actually to my left here, sitting with me. And this is Mr. Ryan Rossi. Mr. Ryan Rossi is from the Redwood City, like I said before, near San Francisco. And so you might guess he is a Sacramento Kings fan. No, I'm kidding. He's actually a big Golden State Warriors fan. So Golden State, back again, looking like they could be a championship team or maybe not. What do you think, Ryan?
I think when we're at home, like we look amazing, but as soon as we hit the road, we look like a G League team. And I think that's just gonna hit big if we move on, especially with the Kings having a home court advantage this series. That it might be scary for us. Like I'm not sure if we can make it all the way, but gotta believe. So hopefully we can get past the Kings and continue for back-to-back title.
So who's your favorite player?
My favorite player is DeMar DeRozan, the mid-range GOAT. But I would also say right now another favorite player I have is Scotty Barnes. Like he's just a beast and fun to watch. So I love watching him too.
And that's my Seminole Award chant because Scotty Barnes, even though he only played 1 year, he did go to my alma mater, the Florida State Seminoles, and was a beast there. Helped them get to the Sweet 16 when he was there, and he's a very good player. And but DeMar DeRozan's an interesting player. I mean, he's on the Warriors, so how come with DeMar DeRozan?
Just growing up, I love watching him. Like I love his mid-range game, the pace he has, like his whole footwork. I'm a big Kobe guy, so it just reminds me a lot of Kobe, and I just love the way he plays. Like I always just got drawn to Kobe did. So yeah.
Okay, so our last person, he's our returning guest from last year, Mr. Sparsh Kadian, and he is from Dubai, and he has been here in America now for 2 years. And we'll tell you more about Sparsh. He'll tell you more about himself later on, and as well as the other guys as well. But Sparsh is a Boston Celtics fan, unfortunately.
Whoa.
The cursed Boston Celtics that no one in California likes.
Last year.
But anyway, and right now he's got a rival here with Ryan being the Warriors fan from last year. So anyway, but what are your thoughts about the Celtics?
I mean, I feel like they going to win the championship this year. I feel like they're going to learn from last year. They exceeded expectations from last year, and they made it to the finals. And I feel like they can do it this year as well. And I feel like the only big hurdle we have is the 76ers. But
Not the Bucks.
I feel like if Giannis doesn't come back, I feel like no. What? He's up right now.
Oh, it's Tai Chu.
Oh, sorry.
Tai Chu, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like Boston's gonna win. I feel like they have a good chance. I feel like Tatum is gonna take over, play good, and carry. Plus Jaylen Brown's gonna help too. But yeah.
Well, I mean,
Still confident.
so we have a lot of differing opinions here. Like I said, I mean, we it's sort of interesting. We have 4 different people, and actually 6 with Masai and I, and we all have a different favorite team, and we all have some differing, some similar opinions. I mean, I think most of us agree that the Celtics are one of the best teams in the East. Whether I want to agree with that or not, 'cause, I'm not a Celtics fan, but they are one of the top teams in the East, along with the Bucks and the Sixers probably. But the injuries, injuries definitely can make a difference in the playoffs. And if Giannis can't come back, Bucks could be done in the first round because Miami's not a bad number 8 seeded team. But we'll see what happens there. On the West side, I think everybody agrees. Golden State, still, even though they're lower seed, they're probably the team to beat because they are defending champions. They've been there. They have the core group. But Denver, definitely the team that could finally break that bridesmaid, label they've always had. They always seem to, get knocked down in the semifinals or the conference finals and can't get to the finals. But they got a very good squad. Jokic, Jamal Murray. I mean, they have a lot of talent there in Denver, so it could be their year. But we could have a team like Memphis or the Suns or the Lakers. I would say the Clippers if they were healthy, but I think the Clippers are pretty much done for. We'll see, but I think that they are probably done unless Kawhi Leonard makes a miraculous recovery and plays tomorrow. I think the Clippers season is going to be done, unfortunately, but that's the way it is. So, you guys grew up watching pro basketball probably in your respective countries, and of course you in the Bay Area. What made you three, Sparsh, Junior, and Lewis, want to come over to America to pursue your basketball dreams? So I'll first ask that question to Junior. Why do you want to come here to America?
I mean, in Belgium, you can play pro, easily pro, like very quick. What I mean? Like when you have 18, you can play pro if you want to, if you are good enough to. But I mean, for me personally, I always want to play like to the top level. So I was like, if I come here, I can then have the chance to play my basketball and have a chance to maybe touch a ring or something like this. So I came here, try to do something very nice and move to the family, left the family, try to mind my business by myself. And I really like California, so that was just like there. I like yeah.
Yeah. So how is the basketball different in Belgium than it is here in the U.S.?
I mean, it's very different because you guys were there, you got high school level. I mean, in Belgium, we play in some clubs, so it's not really like it's not like a high school level from here. And after when you get off high school, so if you play pro, you can play pro, or you can just play like that, play wrong. So here you got the college basketball, the high school basketball. So like it was pretty different. Like the college basketball over there is 10 times better than the player who play like around Belgium. You feel me? I can't compare the pro one. Like if you play pro in Belgium, you're not better than the pro is in the G League and stuff like that. You feel me? Yeah, the US basketball is much better. Like much tougher. The Belgium still pretty nice in basketball too. So not that different, but it's pretty different.
And how do you like being here in America compared to Belgium? If you could choose like where you're going to live the rest of your life, would you choose to stay in America? Regardless of basketball, would you choose to stay in America, or would you want to go back to Belgium, or or would you go somewhere else?
Yeah, I mean, now I'm in California. California is pretty nice. Like I have a chance for go everywhere, like San Diego stuff like that. So it's really nice. If I have to choose one, maybe the US. But I'm from Ivory Coast too, so I pretty love my country too. So it's gonna be a pretty hard decision there. Like Belgium is more for the older and stuff like that. If I have to choose between Belgium and California for all the year, and I can have a hundred me, I'm gonna say California. But for I mean, a lot of different types. Just for the waiver, But for the food, I'm gonna say Belgium. Like all depends. Yeah, if I have to choose one, I don't know. I don't know.
Now you've had a chance to travel some other places with the basketball program you're with, Future College Prep. You've had a chance to go to Las Vegas a couple times.
Yes,
You've also had a chance to go to Mexico and play in Tijuana in a tournament. Unfortunately, you just missed our Florida tournament, so you didn't go to Florida. But what do you think about going to Mexico, and what do you think about going to Las Vegas?
I mean, that trip, the team that was pretty nice, and that make us be a team. I don't lie. For me personally, I learned a lot. And that was pretty nice to go to the other place. Like when I was in Belgium, I saw Las Vegas on my TV. I wasn't know if I came in Future College Prep, I have to go in Las Vegas and stuff like this. So yeah, move and see like someone else. That was pretty nice, and the area looked pretty nice too. So I really appreciate that moment. So yeah.
Right. So Lewis, I mean, you're from England, you're from London, big city. So
Mhm.
coming to Los Angeles area is not a big shock as far as like it's a big city like London is, but it is different. I mean, we speak the same language, but you get a little bit of an accent, from jolly old England, and but what made you come over here to the United States, and what is how you felt about being here in the United States and being here in California?
So for me, it was just that playing out here is a higher level than back home in the UK, and so coming out here and playing out here would give me a better resume for the future if I ever wanted to play professionally. So, and also going to college out here would be a great experience. So that's why I decided to make the jump to come here.
And how do you like California and the United States? You've had a chance to go from coast to coast, being California most of the year, but also going to Florida for a tournament, going to another country, going to Mexico, and also going to Las Vegas. I mean, you've had a some pretty good frequent flyer miles. What do you think about all the places you've been?
I would say out of all the places I've been, I think I do like California the most. Not the biggest fan of Vegas, but then again,
Why is that?
Why? I just feel like there's not much to do there, to be honest with you. So,
yeah, I agree with that.
If you're into like,
if you're 21, it's a little different, probably.
Yeah, exactly. If you're into like gambling
and gamble and everything else.
If you're into like gambling and stuff like that, then or like the other stuff you can do there, then it's definitely, well, maybe that's for you. But for me, it wasn't really my type of thing. So yeah, I prefer California. Florida was cool. I like Florida, but I also prefer California to that too. So yeah.
And what about going to Mexico? I mean, that's a lot different. I mean, it's not. It's sort of a. I don't know if I call it a third world country, but definitely it's definitely not as advanced in a lot of things as England or the United States is. So what was your thought about going to Mexico?
It was actually a really cool experience. I really liked it. I liked my time there. We were there for like 2 days, I think, maybe longer, but it was like really cool in the time I was there, and I got to see a new country again. So yeah, it was cool.
Okay, so now we're going to go to Mr. Sparsh Kadan, and Sparsh again is from Dubai, and Dubai is it's become like the new haven for people who want to go take a trip to another country that's really fancy.
Beautiful.
It's fancy, expensive. They have a 6-star hotel. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, what I've heard about it, what I've seen, but a lot different culture over there. A lot of things that we take for granted here, they can't do there. I mean, they can't do any kind of video thing like this other than on Zoom. Yeah, Zoom. They can't do Snapchat, Instagram. The country blocks it all. Country blocks porn, which that's for whoever likes to have porn, but you cannot look up porn sites. I mean, they have a lot of things that are a lot different over in Dubai compared to here. So Sparsh's situation is a little bit different. So I mean, what about coming here from Dubai, and how does it compare to Dubai and US compared to each other?
I mean, usually there's a lot of in common, to be honest. But we'll start with the stuff that's not common. I guess in Dubai, you can't be homeless over there. You're not allowed to be homeless. They'll probably send you back to wherever the country you came from. And then there's no tax over there. Usually out here, there's tax, and out there, there's no tax. It's not really a government. It's a real family that was in the country, so we don't really pay them to live in the country. And then I guess the weather's kind of the same, but Dubai is even hotter. It doesn't get cold at all. But yeah.
So no one in Dubai.
There's no
You can't throw snowballs at each other.
No, there's sand.
Sandballs, okay.
Yeah.
a little bit, and then kind of like a snowball a little bit.
How would you like to be there, Masai? Would you like to throw some sandballs instead of some snowballs?
That sounds a little. That sounds like that would hurt. Throwing sandballs at people.
Yeah, kind of.
So,
But the beaches are very nice. It's like
Mhm.
outside here. It's very common.
so what's it like, being out here? I mean, like I said, you've been to Arizona, California, Nevada,
Yeah.
Mexico, and Florida. I mean, what's that like? All places you've been to. What do you think about
I
everything?
mean, all the places I went to, I really liked it. But I didn't really have time to like explore the city much because I went there, of course, for basketball and a tournament. So, but I feel like if I explored more of this, like the places I went to, I feel like I would have enjoyed it more. But the things I saw when I went for the trip, it was nice and I really liked it. So, I mean, it was a good experience to go all of those cities and come to that. I went to.
So why did you what do you like about being here, and how's the basketball compared to here in Dubai?
I mean, the reason why I came out here is just because there's more opportunities. In Dubai, it's very narrow. It's like either you go pro there or there's really nothing. There's no college basketball that's big. And besides being pro, there's no way you're getting money over there. So I thought that I might as well come out here and have a good experience in college and play basketball, of course, and then hopefully go back to Dubai. That's like my goal, play pro or go somewhere else. But yeah, it's majority to trying to be a pro player instead of getting a scholarship out here.
Mhm.
And Lewis, I wanted to ask you because I know do any colleges in England actually have a college basketball team?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
They do. There are some colleges there.
Mhm.
I mean, okay. So I wasn't sure because I know that like there's some countries that probably don't have much in the way of college basketball like we do here. So
Right.
okay,
Let me. I want to jump in real quick because you guys' stories fascinate me. So and this is open ended for all four of you guys to jump in on this one. So when you guys are back at home, you guys are making these decisions on should I take myself and go all the way to the United States? Like what are some of like the pros and cons that you're thinking of, like when you're going through and making these decisions on I'm gonna change my life drastically by going all the way to Los Angeles, California to play basketball? What's some so I know there has to be some drawbacks, like is this really worth it? Or like what take me through your guys' mindset when you guys are making those decisions.
I mean, for me, my end goal is to play basketball and get paid while playing basketball. And for me, it's whatever that makes that happen. So the journey that I was into was had to go to America and hopefully get playing pro. So I mean, whatever it takes to get there, I guess so I have to go through. So if I had to come to California or anywhere else, I would go and try.
so what are the negatives?
Negatives coming out here is, of course, missing my family and friends, of course, and being in a new environment that I'm not, used to. And of course, the new competition out here is way different back home. There's more players, more physical, that jump higher or faster, and more aggressive. So it's very hard to get used to it. So yeah.
Lewis Jr. I mean, you heard when Masai asked you, you said, like what are the good parts about coming out here, and the negative things that that maybe are not so good about coming out here.
Yeah,
So,
I heard the question. So for me, when I was first making the decision, I was kind of like kind of indecisive about it. I don't know if it was the right decision for me, but a lot of my family and like some of my friends and my coach back home kind of convinced me that it was the right decision to make. And yeah, so that's how I decided to come out here. And I would say it's the pros is like it's a new experience, meet new people, great weather here. Playing at the higher level than before in America. So I can only be thankful for that. The cons can definitely get tough sometimes. Missing family and stuff like that, just being away from home. But yeah, that's my piece. So.
Okay. Junior, how about you?
I mean, positive thoughts, like the level market, like they say, the opportunity, the level and the opportunity that we have here and you don't have at home, it's pretty changing, it's pretty different. So that's very positive. You can like move and crazy basketball, the physics, all that. So that pretty, I mean, that's a positive part for me. And the negative part, like they say, is that the family, like a lot of people say being a family, or your family is difficult, but when you don't live there, you don't know that. You feel me? Because for me, it was like it's gonna be my 7 month alone, my family, away my family. Yeah, when you never did that before, the first time it's pretty hard.
And,
No,
and, and I know for you, Junior, too,
Sure.
unlike Sparsh and Lewis, you
Yes, sir.
have a girlfriend back home in
Yes, sir.
Belgium. And, how hard was that? How hard is it doing a international long distance relationship?
For sure. I mean, like I say, for me, she's a part of my family, so it's very hard to, relationship with a person like who's really far than you. You have to be, you have to be a little bit mental because sometimes it's pretty hard. You never know what she did. Sometimes when you wake up, she gonna sleep, and when you're gonna sleep, she wake up. So I mean, it's very difficult to enter on the relationship. But if you really want to, always if you really want to, like if you really want to keep that relationship, you have to just go with it. You feel me? Like the same with basketball. If you really want to grow, you have to like do it. You know what I mean? So that's why we're here. So
Right.
always in mind. You feel me?
So we're going to ask some other questions, but I did want to get our fourth person a chance to sort of we jumped the gun and did not have introduce our fourth person here. He is the outlier of the current group we have on, being that he actually has grown up here in the United States. But Ryan Razi from Redwood City, but he is of Iranian descent. And were you born in Iran?
I was born in the U.S.
So you was born in the U.S., but you've been out there?
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, so what made you, what do you feel about, you've had a chance to come down here to Southern California, meet people from other countries and play, pretty high level of basketball that is hopefully to prepare for college. So what are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thankful to be here. Like, I never thought I'd be a guy from Dubai, London, and Belgium. And it's just like, it's interesting to hear their experiences, and that's what I was sharing mine, because we literally come from two different places, and we just have, like, different lifestyles. And, like, it's interesting how we all have one common goal, and that's to get a basketball scholarship here. And, I just made, like, really lifelong relationships with these guys, and like I'm gonna feel really blessed to meet them.
Now, Ryan, you've had a particularly tough second half of the season because you in January sustained a strain of your MCL. Is that correct? PCL in your knee, and you have been out since mid-January and have not played, competitively in a game, and barely been able to practice much since then. How hard has that been? Being away from home, even though it's not that far away for you. 5, 6 hours, 7 hours to get to Redwood City, but still, in fact, you're down here on your own, and now you're not able to play. You have to watch your friends playing, and you can't go out there and do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough, like, to be away from the game you love, and especially, like, at the most important time, because right now is a time where we're need to get scholarships. Like, it's crunch time, basically. And, I mean, I've been, like, working my butt off to get back on the court. And, like, the one thing that's just been keeping me going is just, like, hanging out with these guys and, like, rooting them on. We just go out and have fun. Like, that just keeps me mentally in check. And just, like, yeah, I mean, it's hard being away from basketball, but I mean, at the same time, like, it's just another bump in the journey, and hopefully we can overcome it and see where that takes me.
Right. Now, speaking of injuries, we had we had this young man on last year, Spark, and he had a very tough thing happen to him just before he was going to come here, like 2.5, 3 months before he was going to come here. He was doing a workout in Dubai, and all of a sudden felt sort of funny and went down, and they diagnosed him. They rushed him to the hospital. He had a stroke, and they went in, checked him out, found out some things. They found out he had a hole in his heart, which caused the stroke. So they did some surgery to repair that, and also removed the swelling in his brain and the blood clot with that. And within 3 months, he was out here playing. But I know it's a tough first year last year as far as, and so I mean, how would you compare year one now and to year two that you've been through here? I mean, your play and just having being dealing with that setback and trying to get back from it.
I mean, it was actually very, very tough, especially last year. I feel like the difference from last year to this year is because I got confidence. I feel like over the summer, I got better in shape. My English got way better. I was way more social with people. And I feel like that just moved me into getting better as a person and basketball as well. And it made me getting more confident with playing more basketball. And like the difference, I guess.
Yeah. Now, I mean, last year, like I said, it was sort of a tough year. I mean, I know your confidence was definitely not there, and you were probably had in the back of your mind, what happens if it happens again? What happens if I go down again? I mean, what's it going to be like? And will I be as lucky this time to be able to continue to play basketball and still be able to live a normal life? I mean, what was that like, mentally, and how did you get through that last year and now to this year?
I mean, first of all, I want to thank God because without Him, I wouldn't be here. But I mean, I feel like my family helped me a lot with the process of like me not being confident and being scared of basketball. And even though I don't have my girlfriend I had from last year, but she helped me a lot with my basketball and getting my confidence and going through the struggles I had from last year. And of course, Bean for believing in me and letting me coming back for another year gave me confidence too. That at least you two, of course, that coaches that at least wants to help me get to the next level and know my experience and want to help me and get me to where I want to get. So, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know, this year, and you've gone through it for 2 years, the grind of prep school basketball, the Future College Prep program, our head coach, Les Bean, has put together a great program in 7 years of existence. So far, we've had, I think, 56 players get college scholarship opportunities, either to a JUCO, NAIA, Division II, Division I, and there's also some other college leagues. Like there's a National Christian League. I don't know the exact acronym for letters it is for that. But anyway, but we've had a lot of success, but it is a grind. I mean, playing, each one of these guys played in at least close to 40 games, and some in Lewis's case, he played 64 games, Lewis. Is that right?
Iron Man.
Was that right? Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, how hard is it on your body to be practicing and playing almost every day? And then not only that, you guys are going to the gym and training with our trainer. You're doing a lot of different things. I mean, how hard is that for you to do? And, how hard is that to, mentally, when you have struggles, especially being away from your family? I mean, how do you guys get through it? I mean, any one of you guys can answer this first.
Well, normally, so like when I ever get in those situations where I feel down or I don't feel like going to the gym, it sounds cliche, but you really just have to push through it and keep going, because otherwise you're wasting another day, and it feels like you're wasting your time and you're being unproductive. So sometimes you just have to keep going and keep pushing through it. Yeah.
And I mean, Sparsh,
I mean,
Ryan, whoever.
for me, it's just I've done this for too long. I can't give up anymore. So I mean, for me, I just have to. I have like a thing in me that if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna do it. So I feel like every day I just wake up and I'm like, okay, my goal is this, so this is what I need to do, so I'm gonna do it. And of course, I have my family to motivate me, and my coaches, and my friends that they go to the gym as well. They tell me to come, so they even help me too. So I mean, even a good environment around me is helping me too. So,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's been so many times this season where like I just like break down crying in my car. I think I'm not good enough, like wanting to quit. But every time I get into that point, I have a self-talk. I reflect on like my journey, why I even played basketball in the first place, and like who I do it for. I do it for my family, I do it for me, and I do it for God. And that helps me push through every time and continue to get past the hard times.
Junior.
For me, when it's happening, I go away from everybody. I have to pray, remind me why I do, why I'm here, remind me my goals, and keep going for the next day. Like I'm the type of people who don't like to be lazy. I'm not a lazy person, so when that happening, I just take my time, like a couple hours, pray, remind me, resource me, you feel me, and then the next day try to do the best that I can, you feel me. So, yeah.
Me jump in. So as the lone non-future future prep basketball person here, kind of describe your daily ritual, like what you guys go through, and then tell me like how has being at future prep helped you guys become better basketball players.
I mean, like my personal schedule, like before the injuries, I would always get a workout in 7 to 8 a.m. in the morning, and then I would lift midday, and then we would have practice 9 to 10 p.m. And Bean's practices are nothing that I've experienced before. Like it's like replicates an actual college practice, and he pushes your body and as well mentally to a whole nother level where you want to break, and he like makes you sort of rebuild yourself. And just I haven't imagined like how good I would be now. Like Beans just take my game to a whole nother level, and I'm like very thankful for being in the whole FCP family.
I mean, I feel like practices really help us to college and get to our goal and gets us to the right physical mindset, and I feel like the grind helps us too.
Yeah.
Lewis, Junior.
So for me, I feel like when I first came here, it was quite hard for me to adjust to the game out here because it's not like completely different, but it's a little bit more fast paced than it is back home. Out here, players are more athletic here, stuff like that. So playing at Future College Prep has just allowed me to kind of adjust to the game out here more, and I feel like I'm way more comfortable playing out there now than I was when I first came. So yeah.
Junior.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with him because back home, more force, more organizing, he's more up and down, up and back. So yeah, it's much prepared me to adjust my game, and I put a lot because I mean my schedule is pretty busy. I try to have like a college day schedule, so we had the practice before, as a team. So it's never enough. So I had the practice. I wake up usually at 4 5 for go to the gym, come back, go to the school, come back, go to the practice with the team, come back, practice again, come back, stretch, and go the same again and again and again. So I mean, yeah, that really helped me to have a really um, college basketball schedule for me. So
Yeah. And the one thing I think that, a lot of people don't know about. I mean, they probably maybe not even heard of our schedule or our team, Future College Prep. I mean, by the way, if you do want to look up Future College Prep, it's futurecollegeprep.com. It's a website. It's maintained by our head coach Les Bean, and it's really a really good thing. It's got stats, it's got schedules, it's got all about the program. It shows different videos of different things that we do in practice and just different things. But the other thing, though, I think that sets us apart from a lot of other prep programs is we don't just try. We definitely, our number one goal is to get our players recruited, ready to be recruited and ready to play at college. I mean, that's like the name, preparing for college, future college prep. We're trying to prepare for the future in a prep school. We're trying to get you ready for your future. And we've had a lot of players who have said that their college practices were nothing, not nearly as tough as what some of our practices were like here at FCP. And but we do a lot of extra things, as a team. We go to a lot of college basketball games and practices. I think this year we probably went to at least 10 college basketball games and probably 5 or 6 practices. I mean, everywhere we can go. I mean, we try to get a practice in. We went to Florida. We went to a University of Central Florida practice, which was really, really neat. We got to see a guy named Johnny Dawkins. He used to play for Duke and Mike Krzyzewski and coach under him. And he played in the NBA as well. And he is the head coach over there. We got to see that. We got to see a USC practice. We got to see a Long Beach State practice. We got to see a lot of different practices and see games. I mean, Hope International, saw them play, saw Vanguard University play. Their NAIA schools, D2. We saw Cal State LA play this year, and then we also went and saw some people that you might know about. You guys might know about this East LA College, also known as Last Chance U, the junior college program that's had a Netflix series for the last few years. We know the coaches there really well. We've had a chance to see them play. So, these guys get a chance to see all the different levels of college basketball. And especially for guys from foreign countries, they probably never saw, much more than maybe some of the top teams play, like maybe a Duke or Carolina, UCLA, Kentucky. They may not have seen some of these other levels. They didn't know what it's like. And so they get to see, firsthand, and not only seeing a game, but seeing a practice, seeing what it's like, I think is really valuable for these guys, to have that knowledge and have that to see, oh, wow, this is what it's going to be like next year when I go to whatever college I go to. And I think that's an important part of our program. And we also do activities as a group. I mean, sometimes we'll celebrate someone's birthday. We went to Hooters last year for Sparta's 18th birthday, and we've do other things for birthdays. We also go and do other outings. We'll go to eat together as a team. We got the Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, very famous place here in Southern California. Even President Obama went there, and a lot of our guys got the Obama special, which is 3 wings and a waffle. But anyway, stuff like that. Of course, going to Florida, and when we were there, we went to a Southern style buffet out there. In Vegas, we went to the Strip. We got to go to Caesar's Palace, the mall there. So we got to do some fun things there. So we do a lot of extra experiences. Mm-hmm. And some of the guys maybe got to go see a baseball game. Now, not all these guys got a chance to do it because they weren't here yet. But I am an Angel Usher, and I'm actually going to get these guys through their first professional baseball game in a few days. So that will be something that they'll have to talk about, whether they like baseball or not. Fast play might be a little better. Might be more interesting. It's not so slow as it used to be, but being in a stadium like that. But anyway, we do a lot of things for these players, not just coaching them for basketball. And I think that is something special. And this year we added a trainer to our program who has trained NBA guys, college guys. He knows what he's doing. He's played overseas. He's played in college. Played in the famous Drew League. I mean, he's a very good player. His name is Vince Camper, and he's been a great addition to our program and has really helped. I mean, Sparks, you can comment. I mean, how much is it meant to have Vince in the program? Because last year we didn't have him. So how much does that mean?
I mean, it gives us more tools, to help us. Of course, he's like another. Of course, he's a trainer, so it gives us another chance for us going to work at work on our game and get, I guess, in depth specific workouts to help us like games, the workout, the I guess the moves that we're not good at that he's just gonna help us. And plus, of course, he's gonna help us in our games too. He coaches us, and he's like a good mentor. He motivates us, and of course, he knows a lot about basketball, so his knowledge is just helping us getting better. So it's just positive.
Yeah, and the rest of you guys, what do you think about the training that you've got from Coach Vince this year?
I mean, like Coach Vince from right off the start, he believed in me, and I don't think a lot of trainers I've had necessarily believe in me. And he pointed out my weaknesses, and we just nonstop been going at it. And I mean, he's just helped me a lot mentally too, especially my injury. Like constantly keeping my head up, making sure I'm doing all right, checking in with me, and he's just been like a great help. And yeah, I'm glad to be part of the program.
Lewis Jr.
Vince has definitely been a big help for us, helping us get in extra work after practice, like outside of team practice and stuff like that. And he's also like a big like motivational speaker, and he's always giving us words of advice and telling us what we need to do to improve. So yeah, he's been a big help this year.
I mean, I agree with it. I agree with them. He really helped us, like, for real. I mean, for me personally, teach me like some stuff I wouldn't know, and that improve my game. So he helped us to improve our game. And I mean, not every team have a personal trainer like a coach. You feel me? So yeah, that was great.
Yeah, and I mean, he definitely has been a blessing to our program, and
Sure.
it's been a lot of it's definitely. I mean, I've been with the program ever since it started, and Coach Bean is an amazing coach, and he can do skills training, he can do it. I mean, he does it all. He knows it all. He's played, not know it all, but he knows a lot, and because he's played at all different levels. He's played high school, junior college, and played professionally overseas and for 7 years. So he's been around the game of basketball pretty much his whole life. But another person who I have a lot of respect for and who does a lot of the same things that our Coach Vince does is Danny Walker, who happens to be our co-host Masai's dad. And Masai, I mean, you've watched it over the years. So you've helped out your dad when he does training at the gym with kids and even high school and college players. I mean, what have you learned from watching your dad, and how does what do you think? How does he help the players that he works with, and what is his secret to success from what you see?
Yeah, well, just watching him for the last 20 years is that, first of all, these coaches love what they're doing, right? Like they wouldn't be doing this without having love first for the game of basketball and loving to teach, right? And with him, I've just seen just the passion and the joy that he gets out of teaching either his super young kids, sixth, seventh, eighth graders, all the way to high school, even some college professional players, is giving players the foundation, right? Because they all start at different levels, right? And just pouring in all the knowledge and the foundation of basketball is just really key and really important. Not everyone is going to take it and go all the way to the highest level because it's really hard. It's really difficult to get there. But these coaches, I'm telling you, the good ones, and like I am just hearing you guys talk about Coach Bean and his practices and everything that he puts you guys through and the resources that he's giving you with the different trains and stuff. These coaches love the game and they love teaching, and their dream is to see you guys succeed, man. And it's when they see you guys and once you guys go on to the next level to college and play professionally wherever you guys are, it's just a joy for them to watch and see you guys put in all that hard work and go out and take what they've taught you and expand on that and perform to your best of your abilities. It's been fun to watch. It's great to see.
Yeah, and I mean, who's the best player you've ever seen your dad train? I know we've seen him train like professional guys, or like who have you seen him train that's been really become a good player? Even if it's a college guy that maybe may not be known as well. I mean, who have you seen?
It's been a couple players. one that's still in the league right now that he's trained all in all is DeLon Wright. He's with Washington now. He's kind of bounced around different teams. He went to Utah. Another guy, Trey Holders, who played high school basketball at Brentwood High School, went to play at Arizona State University, and now he plays overseas. Pooh Jeter, who's a LA basketball legend, played with Sacramento for a year back in 2011, 12. Played most of his time overseas. I believe now he's on the G League Ignite team, if I'm not mistaken. So he's trained quite a few guys. Trevor Ariza won a championship with the Lakers as well. He's trained a couple guys that have done well, and you know,
And he's
the
also
thing
trained.
is,
He's also trained Trevor's kids too.
yeah, Trevor's kids as well the last couple of years. And the thing is, and what he always says as coaches is that all they can do is give you the knowledge, give you all the resources. It takes the players, to listen to the feedback, the constructive criticism that probably doesn't come out the nicest way all the time. Take all that and work on your game and continue to work on the game. You can be better and so you can reach your maximum potential.
Right. So you guys, I mean, we've had a great show, and we're gonna wrap it up with maybe one or two more questions, roundtable questions to all you guys. But like one thing I wanted to ask you is like, basketball has meant a lot to you. I'm sure, I mean, you're trying to continue it and like that. And what's it going to be like, when you get that opportunity to play in college? Because I'm going to say all four of you are going to, I think, are going to have a chance to play college basketball somewhere next year. And what's that going to be like for you? Your journey. You've been playing. Some of you have probably been playing since you were like 4, 5, 6 years old. Some of you maybe started a little later. But what's that going to be like when you step on that college court, whether it be at the Division I level or at an NAIA or JUCO level or at one of those other leagues out there, the National Christian League or whatever? What's that going to be like when you finally get to that point?
I'll be happy. What the hell? I never thought about that before, but I'll probably feel, amazing. Like I feel like I finished a first chapter of my life and start a new chapter. And of course, I'll probably be very happy, but I'll of course be humble, and of course be grateful to all the people that helped me, and happy.
And
Excited.
And what's your ultimate end goal of basketball? Are you using it just to get education, or do you want to do more of it after that?
I want to play pro. I want to play basketball and get money from it, and provide for my family. And then after that, I want to open a program in Dubai to help kids get to America and have the same experience as I did. So yeah, it's my goal with basketball.
Ryan?
I mean, they guys step on that college court, it's just gonna be unreal. Like the journey's just been so long, and all the hours of work will finally just feel like it paid off, and on like just to fulfill that goal would just be unreal. And I feel like I have the most confidence to achieve anything because, yeah. So.
What is your end goal with basketball? After if you play college basketball, do you want to play more in the future, or do you want to coach? What do you want to do with basketball?
Yeah, I just want to see where basketball takes me. Like, if I can keep playing, I'll keep playing. Like, if I can play pro somewhere, I'll play pro. And I just enjoy playing basketball so much, and I just want to keep playing until I can't no more.
Lewis Jr.
They've pretty much said it all already, but yeah, when I step on the college floor, it'll feel really good. All the hours of work that we put in, so hopefully make that happen. Yeah.
Junior.
Like you said already, but for me, it's gonna be like more the first part of the team. You feel me? So go to the college, step on the floor, gonna be like, okay, now I'm here. I need to work more than ever, because like I say, I want to play pro, touch
just go to higher than I can. So if I want to, I have to work for it. So I'm gonna be proud of me first, and after put the work in too. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, gentlemen, one other thing I wanted to ask you. I mean, and you can pick your favorite team or not, but who do you think is going to win the NBA championship? Go ahead.
Boston and Tatum for the Finals MVP.
Okay, Ryan.
Minnesota Timberwolves. No, I'm kidding. I'll say Warriors. And Steph Curry, of course, Finals MVP.
Lewis.
I mean, my team's not in there, so I don't really care. But probably I'm gonna say the Kings. Why not? The underdogs. I'm gonna just throw something crazy in there. So
Who's going to be MVP?
who's getting the MVP?
Yeah.
You mean finals MVP?
Yeah.
Oh, De'Aaron Fox for sure.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Junior.
I mean, which college prep gonna win the NBA championship? For sure, Grizzlies. Memphis for sure, and John Wall is MVP.
Right. What planet?
Yeah, smart.
Ryan
Ryan says, "In what planet, Junior?"
Yeah, I'll just let you know, bro. I mean, I just let you know.
So,
What were you, Coach?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I want to. My heart wants to say the Lakers because I mean they've come so far this year, and I think that they do have the pieces to do it. But the West is really tough. I mean, like I said, they're going through Memphis right now. They beat Memphis, then they got to probably play the Warriors, maybe the Kings, and if they get through that, they're going to probably have to play either Phoenix or Denver. I mean, all are tough teams, and then for the grand prize, they get to play Boston or maybe Milwaukee or Sixers. I mean, it's not going to be an easy path for anybody to do it. But I mean, I'm going to go with my heart and say the Lakers because I mean, I think that they definitely have. If they stay healthy, that's the biggest thing. If they stay healthy, I think it's going to be tough to beat the Lakers. I mean, there'll be some teams who will try and will have good success. And I think if the Lakers play the Warriors, that's going to be a heck of a series. Might be the best series in a long time. And especially since the Lakers have had a lot of success this year. I think they beat the Warriors 3 out of 4 times this year. And so it should be a very interesting series. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, but I think the Lakers. So Masai, I know you want to say the Clippers, but I know your heart is different than your brain now. And so, what are your thoughts?
If you would have asked me like after game 1 last week, I would have said the Clippers. Right. But this is a tough question. It's a very tough question. Well, definitely not the Grizzlies. They're not going to win championships.
We'll see. Your guys gonna just go back home.
I don't think they win another game this season. I think I'm gonna go with Boston. Because they've had that core group for a long time, right? Tatum and Brown, they've been there for a minute. They've been grinding. Each season, they've gotten better and better. They went to the finals last year and came up short against Golden State, and they bounced back this year and played even better than what they did last year. And I think they're the most healthiest team in the East. Embiid is out with the right knee sprain. We don't know about Giannis and his back. So I think they'll come out the East, and I've just seen those guys develop over a long period of time. And I got some questions about Denver. I'm not really too sure about them. Phoenix, even though they're going to beat my Clippers, I'm unimpressed with how they've played so far. I think we played them very tight to not have Kawhi and Paul. I have Boston. I think Boston will come out and win the championship. Jason Tatum, Finals MVP.
Okay. You heard it here, folks. I just have 2 words for you. Boston sucks. Boston sucks. That's the way Laker fans always used to say. And of course, the other teams would always go beat LA. So I remember the old Celtic Laker rivalry days back in the 80s. I mean, I think they played each other in the finals. I believe it was 3 times, and the Lakers won twice, and the Celtics won once in the 80s. Then Lakers won 5 titles. I think Boston won 3 titles in the 80s. And but yeah, I just being a Laker fan, I could not root for the Celtics. I just can't. I'm sorry.
Trash.
And now, the Warriors being the new Celtics, they've been the champions over the last, 10 years. They've been the best team. I mean, I can't root for the Warriors. I could deal with Memphis winning. I mean, I actually do like John Morant. Other than with the gun.
Memphis is a bunch of front running frauds.
But I think
Front running frauds. They run their mouth and they don't back it up.
All right, man. We're going to swing. We don't talk no more. We play. You know what I mean?
But I think that John Morant is one of the most special players in the NBA as far as his skills go. I mean, he has been an amazing player. I mean, like I said, in a big game last night, 45 points, 13 assists, and 9 rebounds. I mean, that's just crazy numbers. And I mean, I just think that he is a very special player. I thought that ever since I saw him play in college, and I still think he's a very special talent. And he might be the new face of the game if he can get his act together off the court. He might be the new face of the game. Because Steph Curry, has a year or two more left of being like pretty one of the more dominant players, but he's gonna, age is gonna start catching up to him. And I think that John Morant may be the next player of the but I don't know if Memphis is the right place for him to win a championship. I mean, they need to get a few more pieces, I think, and that's going to be the thing that may stop them from winning it all. But anyway, so yeah, we'll see what happens. But I really want to thank all you guys for staying on here with us. And I know talking about baseball and other things, you probably weren't too interested at the beginning, but I hope you guys have had a good time and enjoy talking about your basketball careers, what's going on right now. And I mean, we definitely will keep you updated. Masai and I will. And if we get a chance, when you guys, get a idea of where you're going to be playing next year, we'll definitely try to, maybe get you back on and at least to tell our viewers that, Sparsh Kadon is going to University of whatever, or, Lewis Bennett's going to, go to this school, and Junior Kuaku is going to go to this school, and Ryan Ross is going to go to this school. And I mean, so far, Future College Prep has 2 players already who have signed, sealed, and delivered to colleges. One of our players came to us. It's actually interesting. We have 2 players who came to us, and they are older than most prep school guys. Most prep school guys are just a year out of high school. 18 years old, maybe 19 years old. But we had a kid named Anthony Taylor. He lives in Lancaster, California, and he's 21 years old. And we have a kid named Joe Grahovac, who also is 21 years old and lives in Santa Ana. And both of them, thought their basketball careers might be over, and they got a second chance here. And now they have scholarships. Joe signed a scholarship last week to Vanguard University at NAIA School in Costa Mesa, California, which is going to D2 next year in 2024-25 season. And Anthony, he signed or is committed to go to a school called Justice College in near, I think it's Chandler, Arizona, which is a suburb of Phoenix. So those 2 are signed, sealed, and delivered pretty much. We have a few more guys who in the next couple of weeks should be making their college decisions. And I mean, Sparsh's got a few, irons in the fire where he might have a chance to go. Junior's, got a couple possibilities, and so does Lewis and Ryan as well. I mean, Ryan is, like I said, he's our resident genius here, 4.0 student, so he might go to an academic school that may not give athletic scholarships, but he might get an academic scholarship that he'd be able to play basketball for that school. So that's what he's sort of looking at. He's had a few schools on the East Coast, academic schools, Division III programs, and he's also had a few schools out here on the West Coast as well. So we're hoping, I mean, our goal is to try to get everybody a chance to play in college basketball somewhere. And, that's the goal every year. And, it's not over yet for us. Like I said, we got 2 down. We have, like 15, 16 more to go. So hopefully, within the next month or so, we will have, places for these guys to go. I mean, they've worked hard. They've stayed the course, haven't given up, because we had a few guys who gave up, down the stretch, and they are not going to get the blessing of going somewhere to play college basketball. But I'm hoping for these guys. I mean, the best thing about this program is we have a lot of nice young men. We have a group of really good young men, not just good basketball players, but good people. I mean, these guys right here, Sparsh and Ryan, are amazing. They've been awesome. They actually, for my birthday, took me to a Laker game. I haven't seen the Lakers play in a couple of years. Went to a Lakers Thunder game, and it was a lot of fun. Took my cousin who was here helping me celebrate my birthday. Took him to his first NBA game, and Lewis Bennett actually got to go as well. And so it's really a cool thing to do. And I mean, they're just good people. And Junior is definitely a very nice young man. I mean, all their parents should be very proud of how nice of young men they have raised. So anyway, we want to thank you for watching. Hope comment. When we post this on Facebook and Instagram, and everything else, please feel free to comment and let us know what you think. And again, if you want to know more about our college prep program, it's futurecollegeprep.com, all one word. That's the website. You can find out about stuff. And on Twitter, it's Let's Go FCP is the handle. And on Instagram, it's also Future College Prep on Instagram as well. So you can find all those things out. So hope you guys have a great week and enjoy yourselves. And, for my co-host, Masai Walker, for our players, Sparsh Kadan and Ryan Razi and Junior Kuaku and Lewis Bennett, we're signing off. Thank you. And please be safe and be nice to each other. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. See you guys.